And joining us online right now, Charles Richardson from the Charles Richardson Show. Charles, are you there?
Yes, also present and accounted for.
Yes, yes. Oh, wow, you brought a crowd. I love it, a studio audience. How are you, man? How are you doing?
Absolutely. This is being recorded in front of a live studio audience.
That's amazing.
But not really.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
It was just, that was brutal. But so.
Yeah, it just took a little bit. But
so,
no,
yeah.
I love outtakes. So now.
Yeah, things are all right down here. It's not 98 and sweating, so, but it is what it is in Florida.
Yeah. I always get a little bit, because here, you get to this point in August, it starts to cool off, and I get a little melancholy about it because summer is my favorite time of year. I love summer, and when it starts slipping away, it's like, I don't like it. I don't mind the heat, So, but it's humid where you are, right?
You're one of the few that.
Yeah. Most people think I'm strange. I'm not a fan of winter. So whenever it starts to feel too hot to me, I just think about winter and how much I don't like the cold, and then I'm fine. And I can live with it pretty easily.
Then you and I need to trade places. I need to get back up there to my roots. You need to come on down here where you're comfortable.
Yes. So now,
how would Jenny treat the heat down here?
I actually spent a lot of my childhood in Florida. Nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah. Jenny does not do well in humidity, right, Jenny?
No, it definitely ramps up symptoms, so I end up stuck in the air conditioning.
Yeah. So.
Which I never used to be one for air conditioning.
Right.
It's like, what is it, hot a week in the summer? Yeah, we don't need that.
Right.
Now it's like, is there ever a week I'm not running it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be about 86 today, so not bad. But yeah, when it gets up above 90, then Jenny's usually ready for the air conditioning. But so now, do you want to give us any before we? I know we're going to talk some wrestling, and I don't know if you've been listening to the Tough Bumps podcast that Eric Pilcher and I do. And by the way, I did invite Eric to join us if he wanted, but I know with his schedule it might not be possible for him. So, but if not, he'll hear this later. But do you want to give us and do you want to talk at all about the Charles Richardson Show because longtime listeners of this program are familiar with you and with the Charles Richardson Show, of course, but you haven't been on with us in a while, so newer listeners might not know. So for the uninitiated, do you want to tell us about your show?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very lame comparison to your show.
Oh.
We don't do outtakes. No, so it is basically a hodgepodge of topics that we just throw in together. Some humorous, some serious. Me and my wife usually do it. We do have a couple of other co-hosts that have recently joined us that kind of pop in and out every now and then. So
yeah,
I'm getting back to a formula where it's going to be more fun. I think Monday's show it's last Wednesday's show. We had everybody join us, so there was like 4 co-hosts on there, so I was able to run Jeopardy. So it was actually it was actually pretty cool. It was the first time I had a game on in so long, and it was so much fun. And time flew. It was just like, man, we gotta go already. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun to have a whole bunch of people on.
Yeah, no doubt. And what's the schedule for the show? When are you on?
Whenever I feel like it. No, so it's Monday and Wednesday is the scheduled days, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time, and we're on primarily Facebook and YouTube. And my flagship station now is a music station, no competitive to yours. It's called Power One Radio. It's the number one. And we primarily play 24/7, with the exception of the show, 80s and 90s dance hits.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Up-tempo, high energy. If you're ever looking to do that's awesome. And Christian, if you still want to DJ, you're welcome to if you want.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Why are they looking for, or are you? I don't know how much involvement you have in that station. Is the station looking for DJs?
It's my personal creation. And,
it is. So you are
open to it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of involvement right now. I'm just kind of overshadowing. I'm like a silent partner to my own partner, which is me. So it's I make sure the station is running, and I have the the sweepers and everything that are running through, and I make sure the bills are paid.
Yep.
But as far as getting a lineup going, it wasn't like it used to be like around 5-6 years ago, where I actually had a weekend lineup, a hip hop lineup on Wednesday, a Monday we had a techno lineup. So it was pretty interactive back then. But eventually, when I go ahead and get a little bit more time, I'll go ahead and ramp it up. But
yeah,
that's primarily where the show runs: Facebook, YouTube, and that station. Just search The Charles Richardson Show for all my Facebook crap and YouTube crap.
Okay, yeah. And of course, people can Google it too. You're very Googleable if you're looking for the show. You know, it's funny you mentioned about not always necessarily being consistent with when it's on. I've been having conversations with people recently about, because obviously when you're doing a show on FM radio, we're in a set time, every week. But with the podcasting, because I have a couple of different podcasts that I'm involved in, like Tough Bumps that I do with Eric, and there's a political podcast that I'm doing now called Hanging Left with Todd Ayer, and we've even brought back the podcast version of this show for conversations and things that we want to do that do not fit the current format of the radio version of the show. But we haven't been doing those. None of the podcasts that I'm currently doing are on any particular schedule. Because I've noticed over the past few years, especially, that a lot of, and this is something I talk about with Todd about the political podcast that we do, because I use as an example a lot of the political streamers now, like the ones you see, especially the ones you see on Twitch. There's a lot of political streamers on Twitch, but then they also stream on YouTube. They're not really on a set schedule. They're using more the it's on when it's on approach. But they have a lot of success with it, because what they do is, they really build up their social media accounts. They get as many people as they can on social media. And then when they're going live, a notification goes out, I'm live. And then people see the notifications and they either join the show or they just get it later, right? Because that's one of the great things about a podcast. You can access it whenever you want to. And that formula seems to be working really well. There's a lot of successful streamers that they're not on a set schedule. It's on when it's on. If you see it live, great. You see the notification, you click in live, great. If not, you get it later. It's going out on all the podcasting platforms anyway, so it almost doesn't matter. And I feel like that's the way things are going. I mean, what's your thought on that?
My thought is that is a great way if you're a social media mongol like that, and you can market and you can do all that stuff. That's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
I've been dreaming of being a radio announcer since I was 10. I got my itch when I heard a talk show and this guy was just being edgy. I'm thinking, that's who I want to be. I want to do that. I want to be heard on multiple stations all over the country.
Yeah.
I want to be that. And it wasn't Howard Stern. It was a local dude in Miami, but that's who I want to be.
Yeah.
And ever since then, that's kind of what I have this show done for. It's, yes, I'm not making any money on it. I do it for the love of it, because this is what I've always dreamed to want to be. It's something I have a drive for. 30 plus years, I'm still gunning with a microphone. Hell, transforming my garage now. We're actually finally got the money to transform it, building it into a studio / art area for my wife.
Oh, good.
And this separate bedroom where I'm in right now is going to be now my kids' play area. But still, with the idea of doing a show, expanding it, not making any money on it, that just shows you kind of in depth of how I want to be. And yes, you're right. It's whenever I can, but I want to fit a schedule. I do want to keep a schedule like I'm on FM radio or on satellite radio. I want to keep that type of schedule because I like doing live.
Yeah.
I think if I had the reach, I'd be better interactive live.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast is I mean, it's a certain niche for certain people. I mean, if you have my one good friend who does a wrestling podcast, which I'm on now, he actually does his recordings usually 1 or 2 days a week, depending on how he feels, and he records it and drops it. And he's able to be successful with it. He's able to market it and advertise it.
Yeah.
I'm not a marketing guy. So that's where I lack. If I was a marketing guy, I'd probably be as popular as Logan Paul or Joe Rogan, right? Right? I'd be raking in the dollars. But unfortunately, that's not me.
So what's the podcast that you're doing? Tell us about it. The wrestling podcast.
So the podcast is called, the podcast is called the Josh Zodiac Podcast.
Okay.
It stars him, his brother called the Psycho Nerd. Don't even ask me.
Okay.
And myself. So, and there's another co-host that he's brought on, and she's pretty good too. She's very knowledgeable. And when we were doing the live PLEs, I do the live recording. He does the podcast.
Okay.
So when there's a live PLE, especially a big one, I'm usually the one that does it through my channel, and he joins in with everybody, and we cover the matches.
Yeah.
But he does his. It's like an hour. It's an hour podcast, and discuss various different topics, usually about Raw, SmackDown, and what's going on with the next PLE or other wrestling rumors. Like, we talked about Hogan. We talked about Karrion Kross and Scarlett not being re-signed. We talked about how bad they are. It's just completely all over the place wrestling. So it's like, we don't discuss, because I know Tough Bumps usually focus on one topic and you guys go on it for however long the show is, maybe two.
No, well,
we talk about several topics throughout the.
Yeah. No, we actually do several topics on Tough Bumps. What we do is, so we have the main event. Every week we pick a subject that we're going to cover in depth. And then, but we also have the undercard, and the undercard is usually 2 or 3 subjects that we cover kind of short. We have briefer conversations about leading up to the main event. So then the main event will be whatever it is. Like this past weekend, the main event was AEW, kind of the history of AEW. So we kind of do it that way. But I mean, that's another great thing about podcasting too, is, you can do it any way you want to. There's no rules. There's no format to follow. It can change. It can evolve. It can devolve. It can, however you want to do it. I feel like, have you worked with Josh Zodiac before? The reason I ask is I've heard that name, and I think I've heard you mention the name before, Josh Zodiac.
No. I've actually just recently come on to his podcast, as an official co-host. I mean, he had me on as a guest a couple of times, but it's like, hey, listen, you're really good. I like the interaction that we have. So it's like, you want to do a co-host? I'm thinking, yeah, sure, if you want. Absolutely. So usually every Saturday we do a show, or he records, and but no, it's only been for a few months now. Oh, cool.
Okay, I may have heard of him elsewhere. Then I might have seen something of it. Eric might even know him. I don't know. No, that's very cool. That's very cool. Awesome. And then, so when do the new episodes come out? When should people look for them? Is it 2 a week?
Sunday usually. It's just 1 a week.
1 a week.
Okay. Usually they drop on Sunday.
Okay.
He is. We're taking September off, and then we're gonna ramp up afterwards to get ready for, or after Survivor Series, and then we'll go ahead and jump back into it. But I may do Survivor Series on my end, because I think that's 2 nights now again.
Survivor Series 2 nights now.
1 night. I figure.
Yeah.
No, I think they're all going to 2 nights, for crying out loud.
Jeez. Wow.
That's what WWE is all about right now, is that they're all about making money. And it's just really sad of how downtrodden it is with the new ESPN deal going on. It's like, gee whiz, guys. I mean, listen, you're already firing up and everything. How about giving the fans a break, huh?
Yeah, it is.
It's just crazy.
I am not buying ESPN.
No,
I am not buying it. They can pound sand. I'm done.
Well,
I already have. I got Netflix to watch Raw. I got Peacock to watch PLEs. I got to go to empty different places to watch stuff to begin with. I'm done. I'm not chasing them to ESPN. They can pound sand.
Well,
so I heard that if you already subscribe to ESPN through your linear cable subscription, I think you're covered.
Yeah.
Have to go
no, I don't do cable.
We cut the cord a long time ago. Yeah, we don't have cable. We cut the cord a long time ago.
Ridiculous costs. Won't do it.
It's so expensive But now, in terms of and this is a conversation that I had with Eric on Tough Bumps. The easy workaround is you just get you can get a VPN for like $6 a month and connect to, because the PLEs will still be available internationally on Netflix, just not in the U.S. So you just get a
Right.
VPN. Netflix doesn't know where you're connecting from. You can have access to everything. I mean, really,
Or just contact me after the show, and I'll go ahead and give you information about adding you on to my family subscription on YouTube TV.
ooh.
Well, I agree with what you were saying before, and now it just went out of my head.
Oh, about it being so expensive
Right.
now to be a fan. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It really gives something back to the fans, huh? I mean, we spend enough money buying umpteen different subscriptions to watch umpteen different things, and but yeah, I agree with you 100%, and I hate the direction they're going in. I don't like the way they're treating talent, especially Truth. That really upset
our truth.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I think talent's being treated a lot better than they were with Vince. To be honest with you, there may be some one-offs.
Yes.
For talent, I think Truth was brought back based on fan pressure, which, if you think about it, wouldn't have not affected Vince one bit.
Right.
But because the fans are calling out for names, Triple H is listening to the fans. So I think the talent is treated a lot better nowadays.
Oh, I agree with that.
Well, maybe a little bit in that regard, but to drop somebody with no notice, no nothing, just you've been with us for decades, but goodbye, see you now, or get out. That's the way that they've dropped people. Is awful. They don't have discussions with them. They just wait till the end and then go, oh yeah, you're gone. And people have been with them for decades. Their lives are invested.
Yeah.
That's not how you
They've
treat
done
people.
that before, Jenny. They've done massive cuts before just to save money. They've done that way before the Truth. It's just the fact of the matter that Truth is is so beloved.
Yeah.
And he's basically I guarantee you, when he retires and he finally hangs up his boots, I guarantee you he's going to be an ambassador.
Oh, yeah, he'll always have some sort of a connection to the company, I'm sure. Yeah, regardless. But
he's not the only one, though, that they just drop like that.
Well, yeah, but
been around forever, and it's just you're gone.
Yeah, I do think though with some people, I mean, if you reach a point where you don't think you can,
then have a discussion with them. Be honest. Don't be like cross all over the video.
Well,
we're waiting to hear. We're waiting.
Well, the Karrion Kross thing seems like a unique situation. Did you watch? Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Charles, did you watch? Jenny and I watched both the documentary, the Killer Kross Part 2 / My Contract Just Ended, or whatever it's called, and we watched the Ariel Helwani interview, where Karrion Kross, to me, comes across, no pun intended, really well. And in the documentary, both he and Scarlett come across really well, and it's easy to have a lot of sympathy for them. Did you watch either of those or both of those?
No, unfortunately, I can't say I have.
Yeah.
But here's my take on Karrion and Scarlett. I'm going to be honest with you, and this is just what I see. Either creative has dropped the ball massively,
yes,
or Karrion just does not get over with the fans at all. I mean, he number one, if you take a look at his in-ring work, I can see why the guy only wrestles one time a year. The guy is dangerous.
You think so?
Really?
That match with Sami Zayn, literally, I saw 1 or 2 inches where he could be paralyzed.
I want to go back and watch it again.
It was some scary stuff. Me and Josh were talking about that match, and it's like, he is unsafe.
Yeah.
He is unsafe. It's not a good performance at all. His character is lackluster at best. I loved it when he was with AOP and had the final testament.
Oh, the final testament.
That is where I think he needs to be surrounded by talent. He cannot hold himself with his character. He cannot. So either creative is dropping the ball, finding nothing legitimate that he can do well, or he just, excuse my French, sucks, and he just needs to go.
Yeah, I would definitely put it on creative because, just hearing the guy talk, I've always been impressed with him in interviews, various podcast interviews I've seen with him over the years and whatnot. He's so articulate and so interesting. It's like, how do you not find something to do with this guy? And then in recent days, when he did that promo that was like a worked shoot, where he did that that promo after WrestleMania where he was complaining about not being on the show, and he threw down the microphone and said that's Killer Cross and everything. And then people really got behind him after that, and apparently his merchandise sales through WWE.com spiked massively, and his new book that just came out, Life is Fighting, is doing very well. So there's clearly the fans want him. They want to get behind him. I put it all on creative. How do you not make money with this guy? And I've always felt that. Like they did well with him in NXT when Triple H was running NXT, but then, they brought him up to the main roster. Vince was still in charge, so Vince immediately ruined him. They released him, they brought him back, and then it's like they can't figure out what to do with him. And it's like, how do you not find something for this guy to do, I don't know. I put it on creative.
Not every NXT champion or somebody that's rising up from NXT goes to the main roster and succeeds.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not that. And also, there may be other works behind the scenes. There could be some there could be some drama going on backstage. There could be some obviously creative differences, I'm sure, backstage.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, though, just seeing what I've seen on camera, it's very bland. It's not entertaining for me, at least. I mean, again, it sounds like you and Jenny feel differently.
Yeah,
but it's not entertaining for me, and I find his wrestling style is very dangerous.
I will say, I don't think his ring work, I've never noticed the dangerous aspect of that, but I would be curious. Like Jenny said, maybe,
I gotta go back,
maybe we'll go back and watch that match. But I will say I've never found his ring work to be particularly spectacular. Like, I don't expect to hear a "This is awesome" chant during a Karrion Kross match. But again,
it's far, but it's far from spectacular. It's downright bad. It really is. I don't know, because listen, when you take a look and you're inside that ring, you are dancing with your dance partner. I mean, yes, it's kind of sad to say because they're wearing tight shorts and everything like that, and it's just you just think about that. It's just like, okay, you're dancing with a dude, all right, whatever,
sure,
but they're dancing,
yeah.
And your dance partner, somebody has to lead, somebody has to. Communication's always a spot.
Mm-hmm.
Sami Zayn, whether it be with Jey Uso, whether it be with the Bloodline, whether it be with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn's beautiful. He twinkle toes around that ring like nobody ever.
Sure.
He's great. I see him carrying Kross, and I'm almost about ready to cry because there is no twinkle toes. Something's off. And it can't be Sami, because I've seen Sami interact with other wrestlers, and he is just beautiful. It's great. It's artwork. It's not art. Maybe it's not dangerous, but it's just not good.
I do think they had a good match at SummerSlam. I thought it was very good. I mean, I didn't have any complaints about it, certainly. But
I think the drama and the interaction, the interference with Scarlett with the bar.
Yeah.
I like that. But there was a couple of bumps there where I was like, oh, please get up, Sami. Please get up. Please don't do the X. Referee, don't do the X. There's some of the bumps that I just saw, like, that didn't look good.
I do have to acknowledge my favorite part of any Karrion Kross match has always been the entrance. I think the entrance is incredible. I think that whole thing is really good. But he also said
it is the best part of Karrion Kross is the entrance. You're absolutely right.
He did say during the Ariel Helwani interview too that so you said you didn't watch it, correct? He said that
no.
He said that it's really good, but he said that they did make him an offer. It's not that they didn't make him an offer; they did make him an offer, but there were two things that were a problem. One is he wanted to know how they arrived at that number, so I assume it was a low number, because there's been just recently there was a pretty big spike in his merchandise sales apparently. So they wanted to know how they arrived at that number. He didn't say no. He just said, let's continue the conversation. And the other sticking point was they did not offer Scarlett anything. They offered him a new deal. They did not offer Scarlett a new deal. And he says that what they told him was that they would sign him. Let's get your deal locked in, and then we'll figure out Scarlett. Which I can understand him being very concerned about that for two reasons. Number one, she's a huge part of the act. You know, it's hard to imagine him without her. But also, I would be worried about, okay, so you want to sign me, you want me to hurry up and sign this deal, and then we'll deal with Scarlett afterward. I'm worried that there's not going to be a follow through there. Okay, I'm going to sign this deal that you, for some reason, are in such a hurry for me to go ahead and sign, because you're telling me if I don't sign it in 24 hours, you're rescinding the offer. No ongoing contract negotiations. I either sign this or you rescind, and then I'm supposed to just trust you that then you're going to talk to Scarlett, or we're going to sit down and negotiate something for Scarlett as well. That sounded pretty sketchy to me. So I don't blame him for saying no.
Yeah, I agree with that, because listen, what does my deal have to do with Scarlett? Scarlett has her own deal. How about we get Scarlett on board first?
Yeah.
And then talk to me. I think honestly it's a way to go ahead and break those two apart, because number one, Scarlett's not a wrestler. She has not wrestled. She is a valet.
I think she hasn't she?
Right? And unfortunately, I think,
I thought she had wrestled in the past.
Not to my recollection. If she has, it has been a long time.
Yeah, it probably been a long time. But I mean, I know she takes bumps and everything. I thought she had wrestled at one time. I'm looking it up now.
Well, yeah, she probably has trained before. Yeah, definitely look it up.
Yeah,
but she's probably trained before to go ahead and take said bumps. But she's primarily a valet, and I don't think WWE, especially with them cracking down on salary and everything like that, I don't think they're going to go ahead and pay a valet, which is weird. You're going ahead and bumping up to ESPN for $30 a month. You're already telling people to pay for Netflix, for Raw, and you're cutting salary. Really? Okay. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm looking on Wikipedia. It looks like
don't forget Peacock for the PLEs.
Yeah.
And they're also bumping up, because they said when they signed this deal with ESPN that their first PLE was going to be WrestleMania next year. They're bumping it up to something called WrestlePalooza.
Yep.
In September.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Sorry, I almost cursed it.
I think their money. I think they're greedy as heck. That company's got so much money. Now they're nickel and diming the artists who are contracted. They don't get health care. They got to pay their own health care, everything else.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I think people don't understand that sometimes too, because they think they're employees, right? They're not employees. They're independent contract.
Yep.
They got a workaround from the government, basically. And it's stuck.
They're I mean, obviously there's another wrestling promotion out there. If you don't like it at WWE, go over to AEW. See what they can do. You got full creative control. You have another con that's in charge. So you go from Tony to Nick, or Nick to Tony. I don't know. I forgot whose con is who. To be honest with you, they're both cons.
Con! Sorry, I had to do it.
God, I can't keep it.
Go over to AEW. They're thriving as well. I mean, look how awesome they are. I mean, look. I mean, just think about it. Chris Jericho went from WWE to AEW, possibly back to WWE.
Most likely.
I saw that.
Come on now. Cody Rhodes goes ahead and flicks off WWE when he goes to AEW. Now he's back to WWE.
Yeah.
What's going on? How come AEW can't keep their talent? Talent that they take from WWE. Well, it's not working now. Next thing you know, we're getting Dean Ambrose back, right? Is that what's going to happen next?
I hope so. That was something that Eric and I talked about too on Tough Bumps. By the way, if you're just joining us, we have Charles Richardson from the Charles Richardson Show on the line with us, and and of course what's the name of the wrestling podcast? Is it the Josh Zodiac Show?
Yes, the Josh Zodiac podcast.
The Josh Zodiac podcast. I want to make sure I get it right. When we did this past Sunday on the newest edition of Tough Bumps, it was a history of AEW, and Eric and I talked a lot about how the worst thing that happened to AEW was, and Eric and I disagree on a lot of things, but on this I think we agreed, is that when Vince ended up having to permanently leave WWE because with Triple H in charge of creative, because the whole reason that AEW was so successful in the beginning, and to a large extent still is, I mean, doing 30,000 people in a stadium in Texas is pretty impressive. But the reason they were so successful initially was because they were offering an alternative to what had become very, very stale, a very stale product under Vince. I was saying to Eric, for years, I wouldn't even sit down and sit through an episode of Raw or SmackDown. I would just go on YouTube and find out whatever happened and just watch whatever clips looked interesting to me, and that was it. So I never fully disengaged from the product. But so AEW was filling that void, and then of course Triple H, who I wasn't surprised because I was watching NXT, because when Triple H was in charge of NXT was phenomenal. And so when Triple H got to take over full creative on the full roster, on the main roster, that was all of a sudden AEW, it's kind of like, don't really need it after all. Now that WWE is running on all cylinders again for the first time in a long time. But I do think that AEW is a net positive for the business. I think that the wrestling business always thrives when you have competitive forces within it. The more promotions that are successful, the better, because a high tide raises all ships. Interest in wrestling, it's so strong right now. Even TNA, Jenny and I were watching a little bit of Slammiversary. That was their biggest North American crowd for Slammiversary, almost 8,000 people. I think their partnership with WWE helps drive that. But I do think AEW holds an important place in the market. And I think it's a net positive that they're around.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a net positive for AEW no matter what, because it's an alternative. And when you can go ahead and finally get your creative brains intact and actually bump heads, literally sometimes, and you go ahead and get Edge and Christian back together, that's going to generate some interest. Like, how is this rated R superstar Adam Copeland going to do with Christian Cage now that they're reunited? Interesting storyline. It drove me interest in AEW because I want to see what these two are going to go at. That was the first time I heard of Spike, apparently, with that back. Just, gruesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, you know what? Let's see what happens. Let's see where they go from here, because they're taking a definite tag team, a formidable tag team, Hall of Fame tag team, and they're bringing it to their forefront now. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, I think so. We don't watch much AEW. Basically, if there's if they have a big event or something, there's a website, tokivideo.com, that posts the individual matches from their pay-per-views. Usually a week or two after they happen, but yeah, I think
are they not streaming on Max? Their pay-per-views. I know they're streaming like Dynamite and Collision on Max, but
on Max? I don't know.
Yeah, we have
I
Max.
have Max.
We've actually watched one of the shows on Max. We've never watched any of their PLEs on Max, but I think you're right. With all the streaming services, it gets confusing. It's hard to keep up with it all.
I'm ready to dump some.
But part of why
it's amazing, Matt. It's amazing, Matt.
Oh yeah, AEW is all over.
Cut the cord.
Yeah.
Cut the cord, everybody. Cut the cord. Go streaming. You're spending more now on streaming than you did.
I'm not. I'm actually not spending more on streaming than I was paying the cable, because it was expensive.
A lot of people are, though.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people are, though.
Cable is far from dead. That's for sure. Part of why we were having that conversation on Tough Bumps was Eric is much more negative on AEW than I am. Like I said, I think Cody Rhodes, his return to WWE, would not have been nearly as important and as big a deal had it not been for AEW. Even CM Punk, it still would have been a big deal, him returning to WWE, his surprise appearance at Survivor Series when he returned. But again, had it not been for AEW getting him back into the game first, I don't think it would have meant as much. I think AEW has directly benefited WWE in some ways. I really do.
I agree, and then I disagree, because Cody Rhodes developed himself in the indies before AEW even took place.
That was Eric's point,
he reinvented it. The American Nightmare persona theme song and everything was before AEW.
Right.
So he actually went ahead and created himself before then. He was able to make a stage on AEW. So I agree to that point. That Cody went ahead and turned some heads like, wow, this guy can actually perform.
Yeah.
We don't have to put him in a goofy gold outfit and call him Stardust.
Right.
That's great. CM Punk, on the other hand, he had to try another promotion because of his experience with WWE, his negative experience with WWE. And at the time, he went to AEW. Vince was still in charge anyway. So why would he go back to a toxic relationship with that?
Right.
And of course, if you haven't seen Unreal,
we watched it.
You know that, yeah, it's that's freaking great. It really is.
Yeah.
But that right there, not even Unreal, just the whole behind the scenes of how CM Punk got back. It was a last minute deal. This thing wasn't like etched in stone before Survivor Series hit. Nobody knew except 3 people, and one of them was AJ.
Yeah.
So he was hidden behind everything, got into guerrilla formation, and it's like, wow, CM Punk is here.
Yep. Yeah.
It just he literally signed that contract like 10 minutes before. There was a coming to Jesus moment with Triple H saying, "Listen, we know we messed up. We know this happened. We know that happened. This is how it is now. We know there's a lot of wrongs that have been righted." And this is what we can offer you. And I think CM Punk came back. But I think he had to try another promotion to see what exactly it's like outside of WWE before he came back.
Right. I also have a theory. You know that show that CM Punk showed up at? This was when he was on the outs with AEW. He was still under contract, but he was out with his injury. Poor guy. He's had a lot of injuries. So he was away from the promotion, and of course it was an ongoing story that he was at odds with some of the people there, and like Jack Perry, and his relationship with Tony Khan was pretty strained. And then there was that WWE show that he showed up at just to say hi to some people backstage, and Vince got wind of it and kicked him out. And by the way, Vince I think was probably right to do that, because Vince does not want to be sued for contract tampering. Because if he's aware of the situation, he knows, assuming he was aware, he knew that CM Punk was still under contract with AEW but having problems. So it's not necessarily a great look that, while still under contract with AEW, CM Punk is just showing up at a show. But that night, apparently, before Vince gave word that, no, you got to get him out of here, we can't have him in the building, kick him out, he did have a brief interaction with Triple H. I just wonder how that interaction went, because I have a theory. It's just a theory. I can't base it on anything. But is it possible that part of that introduction, apparently it was very, very brief, just kind of saying hello to each other. But I wonder if Punk said something like, to Triple H, hey, someday when I'm not under contract somewhere else, I might like to come back here, just kind of throwing that out there. And Triple H may have said something like, hey, if you weren't under contract, we'd love to have you back. Who knows what the future, just a brief interaction like that. And and if that conversation did take place, they'll never admit it. But I can't help but wonder if it did,
I have my own theory, and it's definitely not wrestling related. So my theory is CM Punk walks up to Triple H and it's like, hey, how are you and Stephanie doing?
Yeah,
we're doing great. I mean, you're doing great. You want to get together and have a foursome?
Really? That's your theory? And
or either that or wife swap. One of the two.
Yeah. So, well, Charles, I mean, you're definitely thinking outside the box, because I can honestly tell you, with all sincerity, that never occurred to me.
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't occur to me either.
Yeah. So, what do you watch any AEW now, or do you only watch WWE?
It's mainly WWE, but I kind of keep tabs on stuff with AEW. Like I wouldn't have known about Edge and Christian. I knew they were feuding with each other. I think there was one time Christian hugged Edge and told him, F.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, okay, wow. But I kind of keep tabs on, like, apparently they got something going now, which okay, maybe I might tune in to see what's going on if they're advertised, and see what's doing. But I'm primarily WWE.
Yeah, I'll watch any Will Ospreay match, and he, of course, in AEW, and a big fan of MJF. Haven't kept up with what they've been doing, but boy, there's just so much content now. I mean, and WWE is pumping out more content than ever.
Isn't MJF like part of the Hurt Syndicate now with Lashley and MVP?
From what I saw online, he was, but now he's out. They kicked him out or something. So I don't know. I haven't, but that's, it's hard though. See, that's the other thing with AEW. And this is something where I think Tony Khan probably has something in common with Vince McMahon, that wanting to have full control over creative to the point where, nothing's being delegated, or if it is being well, obviously in WWE, Vince was delegating because he had a full writing team, but then, he'd end up tearing up the script and rewriting it himself anyway. And I think that, what AEW needs, what Tony Khan needs, is somebody or a team of people who can do what Triple H has done, recommit to long-term logical storytelling where you can get really invested in these characters, because that's the most important thing. That's what makes WWE, in my opinion, so successful now. I've argued to Eric that, to me, wrestling is better than it's ever been, because there's more of a focus on long-term storytelling. There's surprises, but everything is logical, but also character development. I can't remember ever, and I've been watching since I was a kid, I can't remember ever a time when there was as much character development as we see now, and a willingness to make these characters complex. And, they've got levels to them. That's why now you'll see baby faces fighting with other baby faces. That used to be never a thing. But now, you can have that, or heels fighting with other heels, because the audience has been conditioned to accept these are complex characters and not everything is black and white. And people who are, good guys can actually fight with other good guys, and bad guys can actually fight with other bad guys, because, sometimes in real life that happens, right? So I think AEW, if Tony Khan would just allow somebody who really has a good creative mind, who can do what Triple H has done, come into AEW and recommit to long-term storytelling, I think they'd be a lot more successful. And they're already pretty successful, let's be honest, but I think they'd be a lot more successful.
Yeah, they still have a long way to go. They're still in the babies, the infant stages, maybe even the toddler stages, but definitely. I do have a couple of questions, because I know we're running out of time here. So I have a couple of questions. Number one, and please assume that I have not heard this on Tough Bumps.
Okay.
But tell me, what was your reaction to Hogan's death?
So we tried on Tough Bumps, we tried to present kind of a measured, fair assessment. I can tell you my personal reaction when I saw the news alert on my phone. I was kind of numb. I was like, wow, because on one hand, a huge part of my childhood, and obviously Hogan, a huge part of professional wrestling, something that I'm passionate about. So it was like, wow, it was kind of stunning. But it's also hard to get past, because I don't think he ever effectively dealt with it. His racist comments that were recorded during that encounter with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, which is still even weird to say, but the just objectively extraordinarily racist, shockingly racist things that he said during that conversation that was recorded, which, yeah, he did the whole apology tour and everything, but he never really dealt with the central. His comments were very specific, and he never dealt with specifically what he was wrestling with, no pun intended, when expressing himself during that conversation. He never dealt with that specifically, at least not publicly. And a lot of people felt like his apologies were half-hearted and insufficient, and he never fully recovered from that, obviously. So we tried to be very fair about it. Well,
and to be honest with you, he was apparently in his private life a very manipulative person, because Brooke Hogan, his daughter, called in on Bubba, and they haven't spoken in years because of the fallout between Hogan and Bubba. And Brooke even said that, hey, my dad told me about the tape, and he knew you didn't have anything to do with it. Even though Bubba lost his home, he got fired. Everything that laid down, Hogan never came to his defense, even though he admitted to Brooke that, yeah, I know Bubba had nothing to do with it.
Right.
So just on that alone, I think he was not a good human being. Let's put it that way. Now, is that justified to say, like, well, thank God he's dead? No.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, I think the way he died, there's actually a criminal investigation going on that he may have been murdered.
Jenny and I were talking about that earlier.
Well, not murder.
There may have
not
been some
murder, medical malpractice.
Medical malpractice, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
During a surgery. He had a surgery apparently recently, and there's question as to whether or not his phrenic nerve was damaged or severed and restitched or something. And he also had a fib. So I guess the combo wasn't too good, and they think that might have actually been what caused his death, in which case it would be medical malpractice.
Okay.
But we don't know yet. That there
was a police investigation going on. I think it's still going on. But
yeah.
That's what's
still going on. It's still going on.
Yeah.
Could be wrongful death. Who knows?
Another question, Matt. How do you feel of Cena's so-called heel turn versus face turn? Was that a flop, or do you think it was successful?
I know I'm very much in the minority when I say this. I loved, first of all, the heel turn itself was amazing, and I think most people would agree on that. The actual heel turn itself was fantastic.
Yes.
It was so well done. The subsequent him as the heel version of John Cena, again, I know I'm in the minority. I was really enjoying it. I understand why people didn't like that I think a lot of people wanted him to be more overtly evil and whatnot, where he actually underplayed it, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was very intriguing. I really enjoyed it. And I thought the face turn back seemed a little rushed. What were you going to say, Jenny?
The ruining wrestling thing cracked me up.
Oh, yeah, that was so funny. Yeah, when he's like, I'm going to ruin wrestling.
I loved that.
I loved that, too. I thought it was cool. I really enjoyed heel John Cena. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed his promos.
Yeah.
But it started to get a little repetitive. Like, he didn't have anything new coming out. It kept saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's just
that is true.
It kind of got repetitive. I think when Cody finally, because you're right, it did feel rushed a little bit.
Yeah.
But you saw bits and pieces of good Cena coming out the past few weeks before that. And I think they were trying to lead up to it, but obviously they wanted to take the belt off him and put on Cody so Mr. Lesnar can go ahead and get a big introduction.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about that one?
I think you're right.
Lesnar coming back. What do you think about Lesnar coming back?
I love it.
Do you?
I love it. I know it was it was basically John's wish to go ahead and wrestle Lesnar. That's why he's back. It has nothing to do with, well, he's going to draw big money and blah, blah, blah. No, he'll draw big money, but that was a request from Cena. Cena wants to get all of his adversaries. Yes, it was reported. Cena requested Lesnar.
Yeah.
So he wants to fight Lesnar one more time.
Yeah.
So this retirement tour is basically to get all. If you ever seen Rocky V, where it's like, listen, I got to get the beast out of me. I can't hold on. He's trying to get the beast out. Literally, in this case, he's trying to get the beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he's trying to take care of everybody that he needs one more time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Which I don't agree. I don't agree with Logan Paul. Why would he be on that list? I don't understand that storyline one bit.
Yeah. Charles, we are approaching the top of the hour, so we got to begin to wrap up. The time goes so quickly, but we should definitely do this more often, my friend, because I always enjoy having you on, and and anytime you want me to be on your show, I'd love to do that as well. But I do want to make sure. So, where should people go to find not only your show, but also the show that you do with Josh Zodiac? I want to make sure everyone knows where to go to find your content.
So my show, search The Charles Richardson Show on Facebook. Like my page. All my shows go live on that page from 8 to 10 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, hopefully both. And any interaction or possible topics I may be talking about will be listed there as well. I use that as my reference sheet.
Okay.
YouTube, same thing. Search The Charles Richardson Show. I have a channel with so many subscribers. Kidding. But so many subscribers that you can go ahead and do it. It's free for now, but after that, it's going to be $29.95. I'm launching my own app with competing against ESPN. The Josh Zodiac podcast, same thing. Josh Zodiac podcast on all social media. He is available on the podcast on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are done. You can search that right there, and boom, it pops up.
Fantastic. Well, Charles, thank you so much, my friend. Like I said, we must do this more often, and really appreciate you joining us today. And we'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Just have Jenny get in contact with me. I'm able to do it.
All right, sounds great. All right, Charles, try to stay cool down there. I know it's hot, so and we'll talk to you.
Stay warm up there.
All right, you got it. Thanks. Take care. All right, that was Charles Richardson from the Charles Richardson Show, and always love talking to Charles.